Hi everyone, it's Lindy on here from Pink Whisper Designs. Today I thought we'd make this fun little Lawn Fawn, a Llama Snow Globe shaker card. So let's go ahead and get started. Today we're going to be using the Strathmore Bristol Smooth 100-pound cardstock. We're going to create an A2 size card. So I'm just turning that tab over to create the scoreboard here. And I'm going to score this at 5.5. This paper measures 11 inches by 4 1/4, and I'm scoring it at 5.5. I'm just pressing that out with my bone folder, and that'll be a top folding card. And I have a second panel that also measures 4 1/4 by 5.5. So now using the small stitched rectangle stackables, I'm going to go ahead and die cut that panel that we created and run that through my Spellbinders Platinum 6 machine. So now you can see it leaves that beautiful stitch border all the way around. So now using my Tombow glue tape, I'm just going to put a little bit of that on my glass mat just to hold this cardstock in place. We're going to be doing some stenciling. And this is a stencil by Stampers Anonymous. It's a layering stencil by Tim Holtz. And it's called the Shifter Dots Layering Stencil. And this is just so cool. You can see there's these little dots that are etched in between those open dots. And so we can do two separate colors of dots. So first I'm going to just center this on my cardstock. I'm placing a little bit of purple tape all the way around just to hold it in place. And then I'm going to grab my Distress Oxide ink and the spun sugar and my foam applicator tool, and I'm going to go ahead and apply this lighter pink color to all of the openings here. And I'm just applying a nice even coating of that light pink color. Now I'm going to remove that stencil, and I'm going to wipe down the stencil a little bit, but at first I want to point out those little etched circles. And you can see those again there. Those are going to get lined up right over the little dots that we've already created. So that'll give us a chance to do a second color. So you want to clean off your stencil really well before you go to your second color. I'm using another shade of pink, so it's not too critical, but if you're using a completely different color, you want to make sure it's really clean. And now I'm placing the dots we already created beneath those etched dots on the stencil. And that's going to leave the openings for a second color here. So I'm using the Picked Raspberry Distress Oxide ink, and I'm going to go ahead and do all those open circles. And now I'm going to lift that stencil, and you can see now that I have the two different colors. So now I'm going to go ahead and line that up one more time just to get that little row of kind of like half dots along the left side here. So I'm just going to quickly fill those in. So you can keep repositioning this as needed depending on the size of your paper. And you can just see how cool that really is. I love this. So now again, I'm going to clean off that stencil. I'll set it aside. Now while the ink is wet, I want to take that spun sugar and I want to kind of lighten up those darker pink dots that I did. So what I'm doing is I'm just inking up this whole panel. So again, while that ink is wet, I'm moving that around a little bit. If you don't want to do this, you could dry this panel first and then come in with your foam applicator. But I did want to mute out these dots a little bit, so I did it while it was wet. Now I'm going to grab the Picked Raspberry, and I'm going to go around all around the edges of this rectangle and just kind of highlight the edges with that color. And I really didn't need a lot of extra ink because there was a lot of ink on the applicator from doing the stenciling. So now I want to add some little splatters. I'm going to take that Picked Raspberry. I'm just placing it on my glass media mat. I'm spritzing it with a little bit of water from my Distress sprayer. And I'm taking a small brush here, and I'm just going to go ahead and spatter this entire panel. And this is just going to add a few more little dots here to the kind of muted dots that we have in the background. And I also wanted to take my liquid stardust from Lawn Fawn, and I'm going to shake this up really well. You want to make sure you loosen up all that the glitter on the bottom. So you really want to shake it up well. I'm putting a little bit on my glass mat, and again I'm going to go ahead and spritz that with a little bit of water, and then I'm going to spatter this on, and this is just going to give it a beautiful shimmery spattered effect. And you can see that a little bit there, and I just think that is so pretty. So now I'm going to take some glitter cardstock. This is the Pixie dust from Lawn Fawn. And then I'm going back to my Bristol Smooth cardstock. This is the Snow Globe gift tag die set. I'm going to take that full snow globe and die cut the glitter paper. Then I'm going to take that snowy background and the little accessories for the bottom of the snow globe and run those through my Bristol Smooth cardstock. Once I've die cut that glittery one, the full one, I'm going to die cut a second full one out of the Bristol Smooth as well, and you'll see that here in a second. There, I'm going to be doing a second full one, and really all I need from this one is just the base of it, but I'm going to run the whole thing through. And I'm running everything through my Sizzix Sidekick machine. So now I have all these pieces, and this little piece is the little snowy area, so I'm just using my pick tool just to poke out all the little snowy pieces here. And that's going to get attached to my glitter cardstock. And then this piece here is the one I mentioned before. I'm just going to cut away the base of this. All I really want here is the base of this. And that's going to sit right at the bottom of the snow globe. So now I want to attach these pieces together. And again, these are just the little embellishments here to make this snow globe base look a little bit more three-dimensional. So I'm just placing some glue from my glue tube on here, and I'm just going to attach these two pieces. Now I did let those set and dry, and then I'm going to grab that stitched topper on the snow globe as well. And I'm grabbing my Weathered Wood Distress Oxide ink, and I'm going to go ahead and apply that. Just kind of a light coating of that to the both sides of that base and a little bit towards the middle. And here I'm going to apply it all the way around the stitched globe section. And now I'm going to take my black soot, and I'm just going to apply it to each side of this base. I'm kind of just pulling in from the side in towards the center. And here I'm going to apply that black soot down towards the bottom. Now, without re-inking this weathered wood applicator, I'm just going to bring those colors in towards the center, and I do want to leave the center the lightest. And here I'm just going to pull it from the base up towards the top. And you can see that gives a nice highlight down the center there. So now I want to back this with a little bit of my clear acetate. So I'm going to go back to my glue tube, and I'm just going to apply glue all over the back of this top of the globe, and then I'm going to attach the acetate. I'm just going to let that set and dry. So I'm placing an acrylic block on there, and I'll let that dry completely before I cut away that excess. So now with the little snowy portion, I'm going to place that on top of that glitter, that full glittered snow globe. And I'm just centering it and gluing it down. And I'm going to let that dry as well. Now that that piece is fully dry, I'm going to go ahead and trim away all the excess. So now for this piece here, I want to pop it up to create my shaker card. So I'm using the Darice 1/8 inch adhesive foam strips. And I'm removing the backing just to make them a little bit more pliable here. And what's nice is they'll fit right inside here, and they will easily go around these little curves. And you will need to cut two pieces, And then you want to make sure that they butt up right against each other because we are going to be putting some glitter in here, and we don't want anything to get no openings to allow any of our glitter or sequins to get out of there. And I'm going to just set these aside for now. Now I'm going to grab the little llama here from the Say What Christmas Critters stamp set, and I have the coordinating dies as well. Using my VersaFine Onyx Black ink, I'm going to go ahead and stamp that on the Bristol Smooth cardstock. I'm going to attach the die with a little bit of purple tape. I'm just lining that up, and then I'm going to run that through my Sizzix Sidekick machine as well. Now using my Zig Clean Color Real Brush pens, that's the blender pen, and I just want to clean it off before I start. I'm going to grab the flesh color, and then I'm also going to grab the Sugar Almond Pink for the cheeks. And I'm going to take that flesh color and kind of pull it down and blend it into the cheeks a little bit there. Now I'm going to take the pink and do the scarf, and I'm just going to add a little bit of that color and pull it in towards the center and then down towards the bottom of the scarf there. And I'm cleaning off my pen in between. Just if it starts to get too dark, just clean it off on your scrap paper. And then I'm going to take the gray and I'm going to add a little bit of color all around this little llama here. Now I did color them in a little bit darker than you may want to, but I did kind of want that darker gray to coordinate with the snow globe that we're creating. So you decide here if you want to go a little bit lighter, you could use the light gray rather than this. And these are, again, the Zig Clean Color Real Brush pens, and these are a water-based pen with a detail tip on them. And I do find that the Bristol Smooth cardstock works the best with these pens. Now I'm taking the black and I'm just doing the little hoofs, and I'm just putting a little bit at the top of the hoof and then pulling it down towards the bottom. So this was really simple to color in. So now that's going to sit in our snow globe here, and I want to add a little bit of glue to the back of this. And I'm going to position it just slightly up from the bottom of that snowy background because the glitter will be at the bottom, and I want it to look like it's sitting in the snow. So here I'm going to add that glue to the base of my snow globe, and then I'm going to just attach that to the bottom here. Now I'm coming back with the acetate piece here. I'm adding a little bit of my anti-static powder tool just to take the static away from that acetate. I'm putting some of the glitter right down in the center there, just about 3 little tiny spoonfuls. You don't want a lot because I don't want to completely cover the little llama. Then I want to press that out really well to make sure none of that glitter escapes. And then you can see here we have the cute little shaker element for our card. Now using the Love Ya line border, I'm going to go ahead and die cut 1 out of the Pixie Dust and 3 out of the Bristol Smooth cardstock. And then I'm going to go ahead and glue these together. And this is very easy to do. It just takes a little bit of patience here to put the glue, little tiny dots of glue on here. And then just attach these together, and that glittery one will be the one that goes on top. So again, just take a second or two to line these up. And then I went ahead and I glued all the rest of these together. And you can see that there. It creates like a little bit of a chipboard embellishment. So now I'm going to be using the Stitched Ornament die set from Lawn Fawn, and I'm grabbing those little hearts. And I'm just going to cut this little cluster of hearts here. I really just need 3 of them, but I'm going to run that through using the Glitter Pixie Dust cardstock. I'm just again poking those out with the little pick tool. And then I'm going back to this ornament set, and I'm going to grab the little ribbon tie for the top of my ornament. So I'm cutting some Bristol Smooth cardstock just down to size, and then I'm going to color it to match my card. I'm going to use the picked raspberry again. So I'm just going to completely coat this little piece of cardstock with the picked raspberry, and then I'm going to dry that with my heat tool. And once that's dry, I'm going to die cut that little ribbon for the top of my ornament. So now that's all set. Now I'm going to go ahead and attach this panel to the front of my card using my 1/4 inch double-sided tape. And then I'm going to remove the backing and attach this, center it on the front of my card. Now the Lovia is going to sit down towards the bottom here. So it's a little bit hard to get it perfectly straight. So I'm going to use my T ruler to help me out a little bit here. And I want the right section of this to be right along that right edge. I'm going to add the glue to this entire Love You banner here. And then I'm going to just use that T ruler just to help me line this up so that it's, as straight as I can get it. And then once I have it positioned as best I can, I'm just going to remove that T ruler and then just fuss around with this a little bit till I get it nice and straight. And then I'm just going to cut away that excess. Now I want to put this little fa la la llama sentiment right above the Love Ya. So I'm using my VersaFine Claire Morning Mist ink pad, which is a really pretty gray, kind of a medium gray color, which will go really well with our little snow globe here. So I'm just lining it up on my Misty stamp positioner, and I'm going to go ahead and ink this up. I'm lightly inking it. I'm going to actually stamp this twice. I'm just going to do a light stamping the first time. Then I'm coming back in with a second coating, another light coating, and I'm going to stamp it again. So there you can see that up close. So now I'm going to go ahead and attach the snow globe just using my glue. And I'm going to let that dry. Now I'm going to attach the little ribbon to the top of my globe. And then once it's dry, I'm going to cut away that excess. Now I've got those little glitter hearts that we created earlier, so I'm going to go ahead and put 3 of those on here. So this card was inspired by the current Lawn Fawn blog challenge number 63, which is the card sketch. And also I had created a card previously for this same sketch, which is called the Lawn Fawn Mice on Ice ornament card. And you can check both of those out over on my blog. And there's also a link there to Lawn Fawn. And now you can see I'm using my white Jelly Roll gel pen to create some highlights here on my snow globe. And the next thing I want to do is use my Nuvo Dream Drops in the Love Potion. And I'm just adding 1 to that little bow and 3 down here where the little hearts are. So now you can get a closer look at that card and you can see that beautiful glittery background we have and our little llama in the snow globe. So I hope you enjoyed today's video. If you did, please hit the like button and subscribe. And don't forget to visit me at pinkwhisperdesigns.com. Thank you so much and have a great day. Bye-bye.